A rock slide sends hikers running for their lives.
I doubt there would have been anything to forecast such an event.
A popular trail in the Rockies turned into a full-on emergency scene. A government survey reveals most Albertans would rather stick with the CPP over an Alberta pension. And a call for competition in the air.
Well, there's a cartel of companies, then of course, as a consumer, you suffer.
Exploring ways for passengers to pay less.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla Di Giuseppe.
The deafening crashing sound the moment large pieces of rock tumbled down at a furious rate this afternoon at Bow Glacier Falls, just north of Lake Louise. And you can see people were running, trying to get out of harm's way. Sadly, one person is confirmed dead, and officials have not ruled out that more people could still be buried in the rubble. Good evening. The deadly rock slide in Banff National Park could be seen from the Icefields Parkway, prompting a massive emergency response. Parks Canada and RCMP confirm 3 people are in hospital with undetermined injuries. And we're learning members of a local hiking group were among those who got caught in the wall of falling rock. Here's Jordan Canagan with more from the scene.
We are near a staging area on Bow Lake in Banff National Park along Highway 93 North. Across the lake from me through that valley is Bow Glacier Falls. That is the area where the rock slide happened earlier on this afternoon. CTV News has obtained video of the rock slide itself. It was taken not far from where we are standing right now by someone staying at the lodge. It shows a significant amount of rock and debris falling and a large plume of dust. The area where the slide settled is popular for hiking and exploring. It's about 2 hours west of Calgary, 37 kilometers north of Lake Louise. The slide lasted for at least a minute as it tumbled towards Bow Lake. Parks Canada personnel, RCMP, and firefighters and paramedics were dispatched here from multiple jurisdictions. The staging area had 8 or 9 ambulances lined up for the many people injured in this, and 3 helicopters are parts of the search and rescue. There are also what appeared to be medical tents set up in that area. 2 air ambulances were dispatched, one from Calgary, the other from Edmonton. Now, the staging area along Highway 93 North, also known as the Icefields Parkway, will remain closed to the public for the foreseeable future. Jordan Cadigan, CTV News in Banff National Park.
STARS Air Ambulance dispatched a pair of helicopters to the scene and flew 2 patients to the Foothills Hospital. A 3rd person was taken by ground ambulance. And as we mentioned, a local hiking group had planned a trip to Bow Glacier Falls. In an online post, the group's administrator wrote 1 member was killed and another was injured. And a hiker who did not want to be named feels lucky to be alive. They took this video and immediately activated their Garmin. Given the location, it took emergency crews about 50 minutes to arrive on scene. A University of Calgary expert in the field of geologic change tells CTV News while rock slides are common in places like the Rockies, it's rare for people to be swept up in one, adding he doesn't believe there would have been any warning signs to suggest what was about to happen.
You know, any precursory motion or warning signs would have been very small indeed, and unless unless there was a monitoring station or somebody looking very specifically at that location beforehand with high resolution imagery or something, I doubt there would have been I doubt there would have been anything to forecast such an event.
And as Jordan mentioned earlier, Bow Lake will remain closed and a no-fly zone is now in place. Parks Canada will resume their search and recovery operations tomorrow morning. If you have a loved one who is missing, you are urged to call Parks Canada's Banff Dispatch at 403-762-1470. A deadly motorcycle crash in Calgary closed a section of northbound Stony Trail northwest for hours tonight. It happened around 6 o'clock between Sarcee Trail and Country Hills Boulevard. The rider was transported in critical condition to hospital but later died. A lone red motorcycle could be seen on its side while the traffic unit collected evidence from the scene. No word yet on what led to the fatal crash or whether excessive speed or impairment played a role. A random attack in the community of Huntington Hills injured 3 transit drivers. Police were called to the bus loop near Center Street and 78th Avenue Northeast around 10:45 this morning and took a man into custody. Investigators believe a man who appeared intoxicated was randomly punching people. 3 Calgary transit drivers were standing in the bus loop when they were attacked. All of them have minor injuries.
We work closely with our partners at Calgary Transit to ensure the safety of all riders on any means of transit. They can call 911 by all means if you're seeing a violent incident like this. They can also call transit as well, and transit peace officers can attend and address many of these situations, and they do in most cases. Police are called to assist when it becomes a little bit more violent like this.
Police say the man could face charges of assault and obstruction. Anyone with information about the attack is asked to call police. It was a highly emotional day in court for the mother of Vanessa Ladouceur. The woman randomly stabbed to death while walking to work 3 years ago in Calgary's Beltline neighborhood. Her mother delivered a powerful message to Michael Adenier during his sentencing. Adenier was found guilty of first-degree murder. Terry Fikowski reports.
Vanessa Ladouceur was kind, spiritual, and passionate about poetry and politics. She grew up hiking with her sister and mother in the mountains, a place that now holds her ashes and a memorial plaque. On the morning of March 18, 2022, the 30-year-old was attacked and killed while walking to work at a fitness facility. Surveillance video captures her killer, Michael Adenier, following her for 2 blocks before tackling her into an alcove, stabbing her 8 times in 11 seconds to the head and face with a large kitchen knife. The fact Jew Michael just butchered her there and left her to die on the street like an animal is incomprehensible, said Erica Ladouceur as she addressed her daughter's killer during sentencing Thursday. I hope you remember her beautiful face every time you see the scars on your hand, adding, I hope you never get the chance to hurt someone else again.
Are we going to find Vanessa's DNA on your shoes? No. Your pants? No. No. You sure about that? Yeah.
Adenier originally denied the killing to police, but later claimed he was hallucinating and thought he was fighting demon-like creatures during the attack. Notebooks found in a backpack he dumped also revealed a kill list of celebrity names, and his internet history revealed searches for how much blood loss can a person handle. A jury rejected the defense's claim Adenier was not criminally responsible due to a mental illness and found him guilty of first-degree murder last month. The conviction coming with an automatic life sentence and no chance of parole for 25 years. Justice Jane Sandell described the killing as heinous and Ladouceur as an innocent victim.
Do you know Cornell for a long time? Okay, this is serious. Yeah, I know this. Okay.
Adenier chose not to speak during sentencing, sitting emotionless in the prisoner's box while his father watched from the courtroom gallery, along with many of Ladouceur's loved ones. Terry Fikowski, CTV News, Calgary.
Heavy rain is expected tomorrow and Saturday on the same weekend that in 2013 saw massive flooding and damage in our city. City officials say they're confident in their ability to manage the river flow, but are warning anyone by the rivers to be cautious. Stephanie Thomas has more.
For some homeowners who live along the Elbow River, it's a sense of deja vu, but this time they are feeling prepared.
Having lived through it once, though, you do realize that people are resilient. Communities are resilient. Hope it doesn't happen again.
The rivers are low. I'm told the dam is low, and a lot has been done since 2013.
Other Calgarians are skeptical that the city is ready for the rain.
But then with all the changes they've made, with all the big rocks they've piled around the river, how many millions of dollars have they spent? In case this happens again.
I'm not sure if it's all going to work. I mean, we bike downtown and there's still some work being done as we speak. So is it finished yet?
12 years ago, June 20th and 21st saw torrential rain, high river flows, and flooding unlike the region had seen in a century. 1 person died. City officials say the conditions ahead of this weekend are different this time.
So the soil moisture, the groundwater levels, and even the alpine snowpack are significantly lower.
Since then, the city has upgraded the Glenmore Reservoir to double its flood handling storage. It has been lowered to manage the expected rainfall. The city says the damage risk has been reduced by 71%. The province has also recently completed the $850 million Springbank Dry Reservoir, known as SR1.
These are really helping to make sure that residents and municipalities feel confident that we have the ability to manage water.
We tend to have hours to a day to a half day, and that does mean that we have to be a lot more ready and a lot more able to respond.
The fire department wants people to stay off the water, especially storm ponds.
There could be a rapid level of water change, so it can happen very, very suddenly and very quickly. So just anywhere you see the signs that say storm pond, just make sure you stay clear of that area.
Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Danielle is in with our first look at the weather. So basically, we're going to get a month's worth of rain in just over a few days.
Yeah, Cam, that's certainly a possibility for some communities in southern Alberta, because some communities, some localized areas in southern Alberta could get well over 100 millimeters of rain just through Friday to Sunday. So this is an intense system. Absolutely. It's something we've been watching for days, and it will start tomorrow with the rainfall in Calgary, likely a little on the lighter side for the morning hours and then intensifying in the afternoon. Cooler temperatures come with this, just a high of 16. And tomorrow alone in Calgary, 30 millimeters of rain is likely, but some models suggesting up to 40 millimeters is possible. And in total, with this entire system, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, over 80 millimeters in Calgary possible. So make sure the eaves troughs are cleared out, the downspouts are ready to go, storm drains near your house are cleared out as well. Get prepared for this one for sure. Don't miss the first ever Calgary Health Foundation Home Lottery Mountain Edition Early Bird Deadline. Get your tickets and you are in to win the Mercedes Adventure Seeker Early Bird Prize or take $300,000 cash. Early Bird Deadline is midnight tomorrow. Buy now at CalgaryMountainHomeLottery.com.
Thanks, Danielle. A new report from Canada's Competition Bureau is calling for more foreign ownership of Canada's airlines, claiming it will bring down ticket prices. According to the report, Air Canada and WestJet control nearly 3/4 of domestic air traffic, which limits competition. So it's calling for the foreign ownership limit to be raised from 25% to 49%. It also suggests a new class of domestic-only carriers that could be fully foreign-owned. The Bureau also targets airport and security fees, saying they drive up costs, especially for low-cost carriers. Those fees account for about 30 cents of every dollar spent on airline tickets.
Several $100 million of federal government money goes into subsidies for via rail. It's the same thing for marine. Marine is even less. Marine only pays about 10% of its cost to government for ferries and the like, right? And yet aviation is bearing the full brunt of its cost to government, unfairly measured against the other modes of transport.
The report says just one new competitor on a route can lower airfares by up to 9%. Coming up, a measles milestone that no one had hoped for. Alberta is poised to hit 1,000 measles cases, and a warning as we head into the summer months. Another major event is taking place in southern Alberta this weekend, a welcoming party including some music at the Calgary airport as some of the attendees arrive for the 2025 Rotary International Convention. More than 15,000 Rotary members from more than 120 countries will be arriving in our city from June 21st to 25th. Events this weekend are taking place at Stampede Park. After a lengthy delay, the province has quietly released the results of a public survey on an Alberta pension plan. There were thousands of respondents with passionate comments, and the majority have the same thing to say. They're not interested in leaving the CPP. Tim Brooke has more.
After almost 2 years of waiting on survey results, we now know how Albertans feel about an independent pension plan. They're not interested. A 2023 public survey shows 63% of respondents were opposed to an APP. Only 10% were in favor.
It's good to know there's a little bit of common sense out there.
Economists have been begging the province to reconsider the consideration since it was first brought up.
We think that taking the Albertans out of the CPP is going to provide us with benefits at least as good as what we have now with the same tax rates that we have now. She's wrong.
And the survey results show just how controversial the plan would be. 394 pages of responses include comments like, "This idea is completely insane, and I will leave this broken province if you touch my pension." Many just keep it simple.
We weren't surprised at all, Tim. We know that CARP members in Alberta and seniors in general value the CPP. The province should really let this one die a natural death.
10% means it's an idea on the political fringe.
But some still speculate that fringe idea won't be politically damaging. One expert says those who don't like the policy won't remember it come voting time, and those who do will vote blue regardless.
It's kind of red meat to the activist minority of the UCP base, allowing them to be very geared up for election time, for campaigning time.
And despite the lack of interest from survey respondents, the province won't be giving up on the APP quite yet. A statement from the Finance Ministry says public opinion may be shifting, but we will continue to engage with Albertans on this topic. It adds the province won't replace the CPP unless Albertans approve it in a referendum. It's still unclear what Alberta would be entitled to take from the CPP, but the province and federal government have very different numbers. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta is 4 measles cases away from a total of 1,000 since March. 8 of today's 12 new cases are in the North Health Zone. 4 are in the South. Calgary and Edmonton have 0 new cases. Health experts fear that could change with the summer travel season.
You're going to have families getting together with people from all across the prairies who are part of their families to enjoy summer. And so that's, for a disease as easily as transmissible as measles, that's a signal that things are, as bad as they are now, they're likely to get worse.
Alberta's routine immunization schedule recommends children get a first dose at 12 months and a second dose at 18 months. Danielle's up next with her Skywatch forecast. Lots of rain. I mean, lots and lots and lots. Details next.
This is a big system on the way. Intense rainfall is certainly the story for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and huge rain totals possible with this. Let me show you the potential issues with this system. Because we're looking at a system that will be over us for 3 straight days, delivering rain for almost 3 straight days, we will see huge rain totals. These rain totals that we could see from this system is such a large amount in just 3 days. It's more than a month's worth. Localized flooding, absolutely possible, and because we're looking at the ground already saturated in some areas, when you combine excessive rainfall to that, and then you get the strong wind gusts that could down trees, leading to power outages and damage as well. So this is what the risks are with this system. There is the statement in place for all of southern Alberta, and rainfall warnings basically up the mountains. Kananaskis will likely be one of those bullseye zones. So localized areas in Kananaskis and really along the mountains there, down potentially over to Pincher Creek area, 100 millimeters of rain, maybe even 200 millimeters. Basically Pincher Creek over to Lethbridge, 100 millimeters possible. Calgary, we're looking at 50 to 80 millimeters. Again, the time span for this is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then 60+ millimeters of rain further to the east, so east of the QE2. But this is where we're looking at it combined with strong wind gusts as well, and where we could have the downed trees. Up near the Jasper area, Highway 93, higher elevations, there will also be wet snow with this system and very, very tricky driving conditions. Okay, radar and satellite showing you that system spinning in the Pacific. It was actually 2 systems. Now it's combined into 1 and created some intensity with this, and it's such a slow mover. So I'm just going to advance this so you can see as we head into tomorrow what the potential is and how this will just spin over us for days, leading to heavy rain at times. I want to break down the temperatures as well, because it will pull down down some colder air from the north, and it will be a significant cool down for us. So today we were in the 20s, tomorrow just a high of 16 degrees. Tomorrow alone in Calgary, 30 to 40 millimeters of rain. Saturday, 25 to 40 millimeters of rain and just a high of 10. And we'll likely have some carryover rain into Sunday and could pick up another few millimeters then as well. At least then temperatures will slowly start to climb and we should be back into the 20s by Tuesday of next week. Don't miss the first ever Calgary Health Foundation Home Lottery Mountain Edition early bird deadline. Get your tickets and you are in to win the Mercedes Adventure Seeker early bird prize or take $300,000 cash. Early bird deadline is midnight tomorrow. Buy now at CalgaryMountainHomeLottery.com.
From capturing high fashion in Milan and New York to a more edgy and sharp subject, the medical journey that changed one photographer's point of view. A Medicine Hat man spent more than 2 decades as a fashion photographer with his images featured in major magazines around the world. Today, he lives a quieter life and finds beauty in the landscape. His work is now on display in a Calgary gallery. As Kevin Fleming reports, the exhibit is based on some of his mental and physical health challenges.
The photos are all square black and whites laid out in a grid pattern. They're a collection of cracks in asphalt taken by artist Wes Bell. They're images he captured while recovering from surgery in 2019.
I looked down and I saw this major crack, and it reminded me of the scar on my abdomen. And from that, things just grew. And later that summer, so I started researching and hunting for these cracks.
Earlier that year, Bell went to the hospital emergency room with what he thought was a heart attack. After 5 separate visits, doctors were unable to pinpoint the cause of the pain. Then a few months later, he returned with the same symptoms and needed emergency gallbladder surgery.
Sat down with the doctor, the ER doctor, and he looked at my numbers. And that's when he said, "You could have died. I'm sorry, but you fell through the cracks."
Bell lived in Milan, Italy, and New York City, taking fashion photos that were seen by people all over the world. The economic crash in 2008 put an end to that career. It impacted his mental health, and he says his art photography has become his medicine.
When I look back at my career in fashion, it was all about, I was known for detail and driving people crazy on detail. And here I am out photographing cracks, again, looking for detail.
The exhibit, titled Fallen Through the Cracks, has been up for the month of June at the Alberta Society of Artists Gallery.
It's really nice that it's been here during, Mental Health Month, because his work has a lot to say about mental health. And I personally really resonate with that, and I think a lot of people also really resonate with that.
Bell hopes by sharing his vulnerability that others may benefit from it by seeking the help they need. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.